Hey friends, welcome back to another edition of My Backyard. This week's road trip takes us down the Western Highway and into the magnificent district of Cayo. Our brothers and sisters in this side of the country have proclaimed for a long time that the West is the best. And in this episode of My Backyard, we are going searching for the places, people, and sites that have inspired such boastful talk. Along the way to a weekend stay in Cayo's famed twin township of San Ignacio and Santa Elena, we are immediately reminded of some of the convincing elements in Cayo's possession that gives it all right to boast. It claims the capital city of Belmopan, and as one moves through the hilly and winding journey of the Western Highway, a string of villages with historical and cultural value pass by. Fertile pastures, bulging with livestock and vegetation, announces one's arrival into the Western country. Caesar's Gift Shop, located on the highway's edge, is the first place to induce a pit stop, as its wide array of local handicraft demand a closer inspection. A little later, we pull into Windy Hill Resort, located just outside of San Ignacio. Windy Hills Resort features deluxe air-conditioned cottages, nestled in lush tropical vegetation. And equipped with all the modern amenities. After supper, it was lights out. For the following day, natural wealth would lure us into an all-day adventure. When we return from the break, we find out why Pop's restaurant is such a popular spot for early morning chow down and visit one of Belize's most famous resorts. My Backyard wasted no time getting the new day cranked up. Nothing like an early morning visit to the San Ignacio Market, a beehive of commerce and shoppers sitting on the banks of the Macal River. Is a great place to feel the pulse of Cayo. Let's take a quick tour. And when it's time to eat breakfast like the locals, best place to get your early morning appetite satisfied is at Pop's. sitting a block away from downtown on West Street. It might have a humble appearance from outside, but all notions of it being average are wiped away the minute you enter. I opted for some waffles and eggs and some orange juice, while enjoying the vibrant and colorful company of the other folks converging for Pop's breakfast specials.
All the way from town, we go for breakfast. That's the best place in town for Pops and Cayo.
With fuel in the tank from a very enjoyable breakfast, our western journey took us to Chaw Creek, one of Belize's most famous resorts. Mick and Lucy Fleming opened the Chaw Creek in 1981, and from a modest beginning, it has grown into a traveler's sanctuary, nestled in pristine jungle that sits in the foothills of the Maya Mountains.
Hello, good morning.
Let's take a closer look.
Checking in. Welcome to Chaw Creek. My name is Elsie. I'll be checking in. Can you fill this out for me, please? Need your name, last name.
Hi, my name is David Juarez. I'm one of the naturalist guides here at Chaw Creek. We are right inside the Natural History Center here at Chaw Creek. All displays you'll be seeing this morning was put together by us, by naturalist guides. One of my displays was about the snakes of Belize, which we'll be looking at in a moment. Also in a few minutes, we'll be taking a look at one of the most magnificent butterflies in Belize, the blue Morpho butterfly, also locally known as the Belizean blue in Belize. This one here is the skull of an anteater, where sometimes when they're trying to cross the road, they got knocked by the cars. So this one here was knocked down the road, so we pick it up and put the bones together. This was put together one of my past guides who used to work here by Chamir Zuniga. And on top here we have some displays of wasp nests. So we have the yellow jackets, the paper wasps. So we can see the different shapes of the wasp nests over here. This is the tooth for a mastodon, a prehistoric mammal. So we do have evidence that these mammals used to live here in Belize, probably about 20 millions of years ago. This tooth here, the mastodon, was found in the Mopan River. Also one of our past guides, Ricky Manzanero, who loaned this tooth here to our Natural History Center. On this side we have the displays of bird nests, and also materials that birds use for making different type of their nests. So it's pretty educational. You can see where birds go around looking for different type of nesting materials. So we have one of the very smallest nests, which is the one for the hummingbird. You can see it's very small. You can see the combination of materials that the bird uses for building its nest. Some of the materials will be like horsehairs, moss, spiders, cotton, and sometimes even our hairs they'll take to build their nest. So different birds actually build different type of nests. So we'll take a tour over here of the part of the insects. We have different species of butterflies, and we have one of the big one over here, which is known as the magnificent owl butterfly. It's known as the owl butterfly because once you turn it on the underside, it will look like the face of an owl, like what we can see up here. These ones are donations from other countries, also some species of Morpho. This is the Morpho butterfly, the one we'll be looking at in a little while. Also, we have a lot of displays of insects. If you have the cicadas, called the sundown cicadas. And we also have one of the large cockroaches, the giant cockroach.
With David of Chalk Creek at our side, we got to see the Natural History Center at the resort. Then off we hopped to the butterfly farm, joined by little Nathaniel, our director's son, and together we got a first-hand lesson on the blue Morpho butterfly. I must confess, these beautiful things had me a little nervous at first.
So this is the female over here.
Okay, in comparison with the male.
Yes, less iridescent, but 2 rows of white dotted line on the upper part of the wing. If you look on the leaves, you can find the eggs of the blue Morpho. These are the eggs, and the first day the eggs are laid, they look like a little droplet of water in a leaf. So these eggs will be collected tomorrow. They will be taken down to the lower area, which we'll be taking a look at. It will take about 9 days for the caterpillars to hatch, and they will go through their entire life cycle. Caterpillars will shed their skin, and they will go into the pupa stage. But this leaf here is known as granadillo, or the ant plant, and this leaf contains 1% of cyanide compound. And this is how our butterfly farm started, by a research project. The guy studied insects, was pretty much interested to find out how blue Morphos can cope with cyanide in their body.
So they just hatched?
Yeah, this morning when temperature was between 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but they weren't that big. They were the same size as the empty shell, but the wings already expanded. Now these ones are waiting for the wings to dry. So after coming out of the chrysalis, they will have to stay hanging for almost 3 hours until the wings are dry. So these ones here are still far from hatching. The way how we can tell is they're darker green. The ones that are very close to hatching will be like this one here. They're darker green in color. These ones, after drying their wings, they will fly and they will start to look for food, which is mainly the fruits.
In the basket.
Yeah, we give them fruits every day. We give them like fresh fruits. They are using their proboscis. They insert in the fruit just to suck the liquid from the fruits. Yeah. But also you can see that a very nice defense here when they're feeding, as well when they're hanging here waiting for the wings to dry. It's their brown color to camouflage. But also they have 7 false eyes on the wings, known as ocelli, which will help the butterfly to scare away predators or to escape from a predator. And sometimes the bird will try to come and grab in that false eye, so the wing is going to break off and the butterfly can still survive.
As beautiful as Shaw Creek is, we had to leave. The day was young and Cayo is vast. We had the Botanical Gardens to visit, and before the day would be finished, I would be eating termites. Yes, you heard me right. Termites. Please don't ask. Just check us out after a word from our sponsors. We had a great lunch at Duploy's Jungle Lodge, an eco-resort located on the banks of the Macal River. From there, it was time to visit next door, the Belize Botanical Gardens, a sprawling 45-acre slice of paradise. It boasts an incredible variety of native and exotic plants, fruits, palms, hardwood, and ornamentals, with an emphasis on plants that are native to Belize. This is a plant lover's dream come true. Let's take a look.
Actually, this garden is found by Mr. Candy Ploys, which passed away in 2001 of a heart problem. In 1997, me and Mr. Candy Ploys built a garden. A group came from Ireland to visit Mr. Candy Ploys. Those guys, they are making like orchid expedition in Belize. So they visited garden and they encouraged Mr. Ken why doesn't turn this area to a botanic garden. So which I can say in 1997, this garden is open mostly like in education, conservations. Okay, the purpose of this garden is openly mostly in education and conservations, you know. So like I say, I've been titling like the teachers, you know, who will be seeing this picture and who I like them to come to visit this garden. So because I'm mostly like here, like it's a good place to learn a lot of education things, you know.
Our adventure with nature was just beginning. Over at the San Ignacio Hotel, we were taken down the stairs to see its iguana project. Along the way, our tour guide offered up many insightful descriptions of the flora and fauna, and then challenged me to have a taste of termites. Let me just say, it does not taste like chicken, and if I needed to eat those little bugs to survive, I would be in big trouble. Do not try this at home.
2, 3. Alrighty, something for you to remember about this little project. It started 14 years ago in 1996. The reason for us starting the project, people are overhunting the female iguanas that carry eggs inside of them. The eggs of the female iguana and the meat is considered to be a delicacy here in Belize. People overhunt them a lot. You won't find them in menus because we have certain laws to protect them, but the laws are not that enforced. So these little guys in here, we have about 55 of them, ranging from 2 years all the way to an 11-year-old guy. That 11-year-old guy is our example for you to see. He's our like a little mascot. His name is Gomez and he's about 11 years of age. Really big.
The excitement reached a crescendo when we were introduced to Gomez and Roxy, leading man and starlet of the Iguana Project. I really don't think there's any need to describe what I was feeling with Roxy on my shoulders. Just when I thought I had passed the iguana test, I was introduced to the little ones. I think now is a good time for a commercial break. When we come back, I get a crash course in horse riding. The ride on the wild side took a very literal turn when we visited the Belize Equestrian Academy in Tea Kettle Village. There, we met John Robertson, the owner, and got a thorough lesson in horseback riding. Check it out.
Started in 07, actually 777. We built this place. I've been a horse lover all my life and been riding in Belize forever and wanted to get more people and more things happening in Belize, and we opened the school in one discipline of show jumping, and now we're moving on to different things. We're going into barrel racing, going into endurance racing, pole bending, and just any event that we can do on horseback to let other people be able to do.
Why do you love it?
Well, you don't have to buy gas for them.
Best answer.
$10 a gallon, it's expensive. You can get on a horse, you can go do anything you want to do anywhere in Belize on horseback. Okay, so also it helps with kids, not necessarily problem kids, but it does give somebody, just like playing soccer or anything else, it gives that person something to do. Keep them off the streets, keep them doing something, better grades, better everything. It's a way of life.
So I'm here at the Belize Equestrian Academy, and I'm here with Miss Margie, who's going to be my horse trainer, instructor, so to speak. Can you tell me about the horse?
Sure. We've got several horses here at the facility that are trained to do multiple different things. They're fabulous out on the trail rides, which we do a lot of, but what we specialize in is teaching our horses and the people who ride them how to do different events, whether it be Western riding, hunt seat riding, barrel racing, pole bending, and including endurance racing, which is something that Trey and I partnered up on last year and have 20 milers, 25 and 30 milers. You don't have to do 20 miles today,
Okay.
I promise.
So you guys do like lessons, like regular?
We do lessons. We have 4 days a week now, I think, that we're rocking and rolling with anywhere from, I think our youngest is 7 and our oldest is a full adult. So I'm probably the oldest, but that's okay. So we have abilities to do hunt seat, Western, trail riding, pole bending, pleasure. I'm 50 years old. I went pro at 12. I've done this my whole life. So
I'm learning from the best, basically.
oh, I don't know if I say that, but you're learning from a lot of experience. Let's put it that way.
Take a look at the best photo moments of the visit to the West. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you why this was only part 1 of Cayo. Cayo is too much to cover in one show, and in fact, the producers of My Backyard have decided to go to the West again. The West indeed is awesome. Whether it's looking over the twin townships from Cahalpech, or seeing the Macal River being taken fully advantage of by families, or famous Burns Avenue with its shops and restaurants and bars, with locals and tourists intersecting on a Sunday morning, or myself and my good friend from the BTB, Clive, chilling out, Cayo makes a most compelling case for you to keep on coming back again and again, and My Backyard will do just that. Bye for now!
This your boy Bird. Let me introduce you to my